Coming up next on Not the 9 to 5 podcast.
The Freelancer's Guide to Saying No. Yeah.
You don't ever want to feel powerless,
No.
so this will make you feel powerful by saying, I can't commit to that much at the moment.
Exactly.
It's counter-interactive. It's counter...
Intuitive. No.
It's bad. It's important that you do prioritise your mental health as and when you need to.
Sometimes we've got to respectfully decline. Like, you can't always be 100% available to people.
Prosciutto e formaggio panino.
And then be like, recommended by Not the 9 to 5
Not the 9 to 5 pod. Yeah.
Say no, people.
Say no. Welcome to Not the 9 to 5.
The podcast for freelancers
By freelancers.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out,
Join us as we share insights, tips and stories.
to help you thrive in the world of independent work.
I'm Kat.
And I'm Francesca.
We are two freelancers exploring the highs, lows
And everything in between. So grab your coffee, kick back,
and let's dive into another episode of Not the 9 to 5.
Katheryn Siggers.
Francesca Marago.
So as you guys know, we are a freelancer podcast, so everything is self-funded by us. So if you fancy buying us a coffee, we have a buy me a coffee link that you can search for / not the 9 to 5 pod. And you'll be able to buy us a coffee to help us keep going with the running expenses of the podcast.
Absolutely. We need all that coffee and all that jazz.
So that is www.buymeacoffee / not the 9 to 5 podcast.
There we go. Go and do it. Go and do it. We'd be very grateful.
Indeed. And I think you'll also be grateful for the topic of this discussion today,
Which is
the Freelancer's Guide to Saying No.
something that I, in the past, have been terrible at.
I think we all have, really.
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad at it. Because it feels like unnatural. And it feels like, oh my God, if I say no, no one's ever going to work with me again.
Exactly.
But actually...
Or they think you're difficult as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not true. No one thinks that.
No.
No, like literally, no one is ever going to think that. Like, and if they do, you don't want to work with them.
No. Exactly.
So I think let's start it off going through different types of no's.
Yeah.
And also how to say it in a more professional way.
Yeah.
As opposed to like a
Not.
rude way.
Yeah.
You know, because it can come off as a bit brash,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes.
Yeah.
So the first one we're going to talk about is the I'm at capacity no. And this is when you're just too busy to take on any more work. So you would say something along the lines of this. Now this would be in an email. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I'm currently booked and not taking on new projects at the moment. It's clear, it's concise. It is just getting to the point rather than waffling on about I've got this project, I've got that project,
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm currently booked up and I'm not taking on anything else.
Yeah, and they don't need to know what you're doing, right? Like, you don't need to give them a reason.
No.
You just need to just say, look, unfortunately, I can't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good way of saying no. I like that. The next one here is the not a good fit no. So as an example, you could say, I've taken a look at your project and while it sounds great, I don't think I'm the right fit for this one. I want to be sure you get the best support possible.
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, it's diplomatic,
Yeah.
It's not emotional, it's fair and it's concise.
That's what you always want.
Yeah.
You always want that conciseness.
Yeah, because there's no point doing a job because it's just come in.
No.
Like, sometimes you need to make sure it aligns with what you want to do and it's like going to help you in the future at least get to where you want to.
Yeah, exactly. And the not a good fit one, that might be when you, because I've had projects like this in the past where I felt like, ooh, morally, I don't know whether that feels quite right. I don't really like the language being used in a script or there's something that just makes in my gut feel like, no, that's not right. So I think that's a good one to like say that, like, it sounds good but I'm not the right one for this. And that's absolutely fine. Like, I've had some people ask me to do like erotic audiobooks.
Oh my
and I'm like, I
God.
just don't feel comfortable with it.
It's not your
just
thing.
not for me.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I'm a prude. I'm a very English woman in that regard. Is like, I just don't. It wouldn't make
It's
me
not
feel
your thing.
comfortable.
Yeah.
So in that instance, that's exactly what I would say to that. Because it's not that. Because then also it's not combative. You're not saying your projects, makes me feel uncomfortable or whatever it is. Like, that's, you can just say I'm not a good fit for it. That's all you have to say.
Yeah.
The annoying thing is when the client pushes back and is like, no, but we want you.
Yeah.
Like, we really want you. And I think you just have to stick to your guns and be like, I really don't think I would give you what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And what you need for this project. And just be really firm with it. Don't deviate from the plan.
I agree.
The next one is referring a friend. No. So you could say something like this. This project isn't quite in my wheelhouse, but I'd be happy to refer you to someone who might be a better match.
Yeah.
Now, if I had a project come in where I was asked to speak Italian, I'd say, I can't help you, but my good friend Francesca Marago can. Fluent Italian over there.
There we go.
So...
Yeah, it's good. Because also you're connecting with people in your freelance community.
Exactly.
You're still like networking through that.
Yeah,
because you're like
exactly.
referring and helping each other out.
Yeah.
And helping the client out too.
Exactly.
Saying that,
you're
like,
helping
you're a
them
people
do their
person,
project.
right?
Exactly. You're helping them do their
Win-win.
project.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fine.
The next one is the wrong timing. No. Now this always comes in, when you book a holiday, you get a job. Yeah, I feel
Always.
always.
Every time.
So what you could say for this, instead of going, for God's sake, you're annoying, goodbye, you could say, this sounds like a great opportunity, but the timing isn't quite right for me. Please feel free to reach out again down the line.
Yeah, exactly. Or an alternative to that is saying, I'm actually like, the timing isn't quite right for me. When's your deadline?
Yeah.
Like, can we move it slightly if you really want to work with me? I think that's another option, because that's not really a no. And I know this podcast is all about saying no without feeling guilty, but that's just another way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want to turn down the job entirely, I think it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
The scope's too far off. No.
Okay.
So a scope essentially is the bigness of the project. That's not really a word.
The grandness.
The grandness, the scale of it.
The scale,
essentially.
that's
the scale of the project.
The bigness.
The bigness. And that can be quite, like, if you've not got enough time, or if it's just much bigger than you can take on, you could say something like this: I really appreciate you reaching out. Based on what you're looking for, I think the scope is beyond what I can commit to at the moment. I think that's fair enough, isn't it?
Mm-mm. So in other words, you're kind of saying, like, it's a bit too big of a project for me to like handle or manage right now. But instead of saying it in that way, again, you sort of
it's beyond what you can commit to.
Yeah.
Because if you say I can't manage that gives them the power, that gives the client the power, and it makes you feel powerless.
Yeah.
You don't ever want to feel powerless.
No.
So this will make you feel powerful by saying I can't commit to that much at the moment.
Exactly.
Instead of I can't handle it. It's all about the language.
It is all about the language. The next one is the budget mismatch. No. So this is when, you don't align on fees or rates, it becomes a sticky little subject to go through.
And it can feel really awkward as well, can't it?
Yeah, and it should never feel awkward, but it's like, you're giving a service, you need to be paid for it. That's all I'm saying. So you can say, thanks for your interest. Unfortunately, the budget for this project doesn't align with my current rates. I mean, it sounds quite strong and firm, but at least it's to the point.
It's to the point. You're saying that's not my rates, and then the client actually might come back and be like, okay, well, what are your rates? You tell them. They may be able to lift the budget slightly. They might just be cheapskates.
They might not want to.
But
then at least you're standing your ground when you say that.
Exactly.
And you know that you don't want to like maneuver from that.
Exactly. You know your worth.
Yeah.
You know your worth.
Yeah, exactly.
The next one is the out of expertise no.
Mm-hmm.
So that is when they've asked you to do something that you absolutely don't do. Now, I should have said no to a few projects in the past that I was like, I don't know why I said I could do this. Like some video editing stuff when I first started. I wish I'd not taken it on because it was such a headache. It would be fine now, but at the time I should have just been like, no. I mean, I googled it, watched a YouTube video, it was fine, but they were asking for some crazy graphic stuff that I wasn't quite good at the time. So what I should have said was, this isn't a service I offer, but I can connect you with someone more experienced in this area if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you don't even necessarily have to know anyone with better experience than yourself.
No.
You can just do a simple Google search or a post on LinkedIn reaching out to potential people who have that skill.
Yeah.
And people will appreciate you doing that because everyone's always looking for work.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's looking for work. So it's important that you do pass on opportunities.
For sure.
People are going to respect you a lot.
Yeah. The protecting mental health no in a subtle way. So you could say, I'm currently prioritising ongoing commitments and need to be mindful of my workload. I won't be able to take this on at the moment. Obviously, we all want to take every job that comes through the door because, you know, we're workers and we love to work and we love our jobs. However, there has to be a fine line of like saying no, because otherwise it just becomes too much, all consuming. You don't have a life and you don't have a break, and then you will probably hit a breakdown moment of burnout, and then you can't work anyway. Yeah. So if you just kind of, you know, cut the cord.
It's counter-interactive. It's counter-intuitive.
No.
It's bad. You shouldn't do it.
It's just
It's not productive. It's not productive.
It's counterproductive.
It's counterproductive. There we go. Oh my God. Can you tell it's been a long week for us?
It's been a long week.
Yeah, I think that's such an important one to do, because if you just take on too much, it's just gonna become a flop, and then you, like you say, you can't work anyway. So it's important that you do prioritise your mental health as and when you need to. Yeah. It won't always be like I can go for months and months and months and be like boom, 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 busy in both my work life and my personal life, and I can like juggle both things seamlessly. And then I might have a month where I go, oh my God, I just can't do this anymore. Like this is
having your moment.
Like, yeah, I'm having my moment. So at that point, that's when I would use that, as opposed to, you know, if I feel like, oh my God, I've got so much work.
Yeah.
Like, do I look at that as a positive or negative? And that really is if I look at it as a positive, that's my indicator that I can take it on. If I look at it as a negative of like, oh my God, that's going to be too much, then I say no. Yeah. In that way.
Yeah. It's good. You've got to protect your mental health.
You have to. The unavailable but open to future, no.
Where's that from?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like oh, Katheryn Tate.
Oh, when she does the Spanish
impersonation. She's like anyways.
Yeah, let's not do any more of those. I don't know how she got on the TV back then. She definitely wouldn't be allowed now. No way.
Times have changed.
What you should say in this scenario when you're unavailable but open to future work is, I'm unavailable right now, but if the project timeline is flexible, I'd love to revisit this conversation later.
Yeah.
That's basically saying, I can do it, but not right now.
Yeah. Which is also what you said above.
Yeah.
Technically. Which one was that one under?
It was... the wrong timing.
Yeah, so it's quite similar to that.
Very
You've sort
similar.
of incorporated it in that one, but that's wicked. Yeah, I think that's a great way of phrasing it. The next one and the last one from our top 10 emailing no's tips is called the straight but warm no. So, thanks so much for thinking of me, but I'm going to have to pass on this opportunity. Wishing you all the best with it. There is no framework to kind of manoeuvre from this sentence for the other person receiving it. You have basically said, I respectfully decline.
Yeah.
Sometimes we've got to respectfully decline.
Yep, you do. And this can work for so many
jobs,
like any of the above that we've just mentioned. Like scope's too far off, budget's not big enough, that kind of thing. You can use it then. You can that one you can literally use for like everything. Right? If you want to say no, that's such a respectful way of doing it. It's so professional as well. And it, like I say, respectful because you're wishing them all the best. It's not like you're like, no, can't do, bye. Soz, bye.
Exactly.
Soz, bye.
SOZ.
Yeah, you know it. Yeah, I think sometimes we want to say no, and I think sometimes, like, when it makes us feel, because sometimes clients can make you feel quite disrespected with the whole budget thing.
Not valued.
And you can get really like, well, actually, my rates are blah, blah, blah. And it, like, this is,
punchy.
You could, absolutely. But going back and having this as like a framework, like if I was you, I'd go back and write this all down, because I think it's worth it. Just so you have something to go to whenever you have these emails come in. So
I agree.
That's my 2 pence.
There we go. That's our top 10 roundups. However, we're going to dive a bit more into sort of no being a power move. So I feel like when you say no to things that don't serve you or don't come under your alignment with your work, it protects your time and energy. Like, it savors it so that you can put it into things you actually want to do.
Yes.
And it also protects your reputation, because if you say yes to everything, you might, like you said, there was something that you got offered and you felt like you didn't have the right skill set for it. And was it the graphic design thing you said or something?
No.
You said it earlier in this chat.
The erotica.
No, there was something that you ended up doing, but it wasn't quite right.
The video stuff.
Yeah,
and I had to do graphics, and I was
graphics,
not I didn't really know how to do it.
Obviously, some people think, oh well, you're an editor, so you can edit everything. But no, there's like lots of different kinds of editors and different types of editing. And I think if you say yes to everything when there's lots of things that aren't in your wheelhouse for it, it could actually have a negative effect on you, and it could knock your reputation. So be wise when you take on jobs. Make sure it aligns.
Because if you can't fulfill it properly to a really good standard, word of mouth gets around.
It does.
They'd say that Katheryn Siggers wouldn't want to work with her again. Shit graphics.
Awful graphics.
Terrible. No, it's not affected me, thank God. But it's fine. But
it's just worth noting down.
It is. Yeah. It is. And remember as well, within this whole like power move, is like every yes is a no to something else. So like you want to be making sure that you're saying, I know, I keep stuttering today, don't I? You want to be making sure that you're saying yes to the best projects, and the best things that are going to bring you the most happiness, money, and the best thing for your career as well.
For sure. And like saying no also allows clients to respect you too. Like, you can't always be 100% available to people. Obviously the clients give you work, but you need to know your boundaries. So you kind of need to say no to them, and then they'll respect you more for it, I think, as well. Obviously, if you really want to do that project, do it for sure.
Go for it. So you want to be on the same wavelength as the client, like you want to be on the same level. You don't want to feel like you work for the client. You want to work in collaboration. And when you start to get that respect by saying, like, for instance, no in these respectful ways, they respect you, and you kind of become on the same level. Whereas I find some clients feel like they've got a level above you because they're the one with the money, they're the one paying you, but actually you guys need to be on the same level. And that's just another way to help.
Teamwork
makes the dream work.
There we go. When you should say no scenarios, right? Is like,
give them to me.
So red flags. So like when you've got like vague project details, when they're like, oh, can you like, I don't know, put together this document for a fashion shoot, and you're like, what document, for what shoot, for what brand, with who? Like, you need to know all these questions so that you can actually accurately do your job. Otherwise you're just going to fail from the start.
Absolutely.
So I feel like that's that's kind of like a big red flag.
Yeah.
Rushed deadlines as well. I feel like you need to be realistic.
You do.
With yourself, and they need to be realistic with what they can deliver as well as the client.
Exactly.
So it's like, if the deadline is tomorrow and you know that you can't achieve it because it's so last minute and you've got other stuff on.
Yeah. You have to tell them.
Yeah, I think you just need to say, sorry, no, but let's think of another time where this could work,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. I'm too busy at the moment, you know?
Yeah.
Exposure payments. I fucking hate that when people are like, yeah, but this is a really big company, it'd be good for your portfolio.
True.
I'm like, if you're a big company, then pay me properly. Don't you pay me? Like, why are you not paying me properly? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, surely I should be getting the right amount of money that I've asked for and the exposure. Surely I should be getting that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand where some clients come from, where they're like, yeah, but this is a great brand to be working with. I'm like, yeah, sure. And I want to be paid properly for it.
Well, it's unreasonable rates.
It is unreasonable.
Like, it's insulting to your skill and your skill sets, like what you have to offer. It's like, oh, so do you really think I'm worth that little?
Yeah. It is.
Because you're obviously coming to me for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
You think I'm good at what I do, so then pay me for it in a nice, toasty fashion.
Love
toasty?
Toasty. Oh, I like a little ham and cheese toasty.
I love a ham and cheese.
Oh, isn't that what you had the other week?
I did.
Other day, I mean.
But you know what? I had a bit of a tummy ache after.
Did you?
Yeah, I think it wasn't quite right for me.
There was a lot of cheese on top, wasn't there?
Yeah, I don't do with the cheese on top, but they didn't have without the cheese on top. I know.
There you go. Starbucks in Mile End, you need to sort it out. Next time we come.
Third world problems, I tell you.
She wants a cheeseless ham
I wanted
cheese.
a ciabatta ham and cheese toasty.
Of course, because you're Italian.
Obviously. So I wanted like the softness of that bread with a bit of crispiness to it. Anyway.
There we go.
This is the food podcast.
What do you call a ham and cheese toasty in Italian?
Oh, no, what?
What?
Oh, I thought this was a joke.
No.
What do you call a ham and cheese toasty?
Oh! You said no, I don't know.
I was like, what? Yeah. I was like,
how do you say it?
Prosciutto e formaggio.
Prosciutto e formaggio.
Yeah. Panini.
Banini.
Or panino.
Panino. Prosciutto e formaggio.
Panino.
See, I can order a ham and cheese toasty in
Why
Italian
do you
now.
still sound like Moira from Schitt's Creek every time you speak? It cracks me up.
I don't know. Panino.
Panino.
I can't call it anything else now.
Or you're just going to go to Starbucks, go,
can I have a panino?
Because they always say panini here, but it's wrong. Panini's like plural in Italian. So it's panino, like one bread, one sandwich.
And panini's like multiple.
Yeah, but here people think panini's like a one thing, right?
Panino.
But it's panino. You're like, panino. Panino.
Panino. What is it?
Panino.
Panino.
Here we go again with the panino. Anyways.
I can't. I don't know any other language. We were literally just having this conversation when we're
out in
terrible.
The sun.
Out in the sun.
Next one when you should say no is like overbooking. So
oh my god,
the burnout isn't physically worth it, genuinely, because you are physically unable to do anything because you're exhausted. Like, you've exhausted your whole body and soul and mind, mentally, physically, everything,
all the things.
And it's not fun being tired all the time, and it's not fun not being able to socialise with your friends and actually have a life outside of work because you got burnout. And that's just because you couldn't say no.
Yeah.
Say no, people.
Say no. So I think let's give some like top tips on saying no now without burning your bridges with the client. Okay, so the first one I recommend doing whenever you're trying to say no to someone is being polite but being firm. Okay, you don't owe them an explanation. Just say, no, I can't do this. This is not the right timing. Thanks so much for thinking of me. That's it. You don't need to do any more than that. You don't need to do a massive long paragraph about why you can't do the thing. You just need to say one line, boom, send it off to the client.
Fair. Yeah. You should offer alternatives. So like recommend another freelancer if you can. That's always helpful, I think. Without having to burn bridges with anyone, you're still keeping them sweet and you're still being helpful. Yeah,
exactly. I think focus on availability and not rejection. So just saying I'm not available for this project at the moment is the perfect thing. And then you can go ahead and say, but I am available in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
And they may, you know, clients actually, they say they have a deadline, but a lot of times things can be pushed and pushed back to accommodate, especially if they want to work with you. I've had this happen in the past where I've not been available, but they want to work with me, so they say, okay, don't worry, you can send it to us next week. That's absolutely fine. Because a lot of times the turnaround time isn't actually necessary. They just need to put a deadline just on because the only time when that gets tricky is when there's like holidays, like bank holidays. If they need a bank holiday, like I did some radio imaging yesterday, which was really cool. And that was for the bank holiday coming up in May. And so in that example, if I hadn't have been available, they would have had to just go with someone else because it's literally next week. But most of the time it can be pushed and changed around.
Yeah.
You know?
Good.
Yeah.
Use templates. Save your mental capacity for when you actually need to do the work.
Yeah. So save all the things that we've said today.
Yeah. As a template in your inbox. Send.
Send.
Why don't we use like the tools that we talked about in the last episode, which was like scheduling, calendars and stuff, and like make a system, put a system in place to schedule these emails so that it's ready to go for when you need it.
What do you mean?
My thought process of this was much clearer before
I
said it.
No, I know what you mean, right? So you've got a schedule send on your Gmail, yeah?
Yeah.
So you get it ready to go, you put them all in.
Yeah.
And then whichever client you need to send it to when it comes, you go, okay, boom, send it.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be on the same email chain.
No, it wouldn't. So like you would use your calendar. Now I'm just trying to think. Maybe you just create a Google Drive document with your template
create a document.
Emails.
She's making it so
a bit complicated
today. Why are you making it complicated? I'm usually the one who makes it complicated. Yeah.
We have our moments.
What the hell?
What the hell? Basically, make a Google Drive doc, put these template emails in, and when you have a situation, pick which situation you want to use and send it.
Send it.
Click that
Bomb.
Send.
Done.
And then,
there we go.
And then put our faces on it. And be like, recommended by Not the 9 to 5
Not the
podcast.
9 to 5 pod. So yeah, I think just as a takeaway from this is, put your boundaries in place. Make sure that you're polite, respectful, but also putting yourself first. Yeah. And then also no often make space for that yes that is going to be good for your business.
100%.
So that's so important in getting... Oh, fucking hell. I'm trying to be philosophical and I can't think.
Oh my God, I'll do it. I'll be philosophical.
Right, go on then.
Basically, if you say no, it leaves room for the yeses to come through and the right ones for you so that you can grow and develop as a freelancer. Because if you said yes to that project, the next one that came up, you wouldn't have been able to have done because you said yes to the one that you weren't really vibing with or it wasn't quite right with you. So take that leap of faith. Sometimes you just got to say no. Better things will come and then you'll be like, there was a reason to my madness.
Exactly.
And
there
that,
we
my
go.
friends,
Mic drop.
And that, my friends, is the freelancer's guide to saying no.
That's it. So thank you so much for joining us on this last episode of the season.
It's the last one.
What has been your favourite part of this season, Francesca?
Oh my gosh. I think the topics that we've explored this season have been quite versatile and quite different. I feel like we've given quite a lot of top tips to you guys. I think the Freelancers dating game, our first episode was like super fun to film because it's so relatable to our lives and what's happened to us in terms of your freelancer profile is probably not that different to your dating profile.
Probably not.
And you can draw lots of similarities and try and keep clear and concise as much as possible. And I feel like that was a quite fun episode to have shot. What about you?
Definitely. You know what mine was. What? It was when I transformed into Sally from accounting.
Of course it was.
In Freelancing V's 9 to 5, the ultimate showdown. I just feel like Sally, she's going to be special guest constantly now throughout this podcast. I think she's a beautiful character I've created. She's a lovely soul. Her cats Minky and Ditsy, Dinky and Mitzi, they're lovely and they make her life better. alongside her husband.
Oh, she has a husband.
I told you that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, at the
That's
annual...
a new revelation.
No, I told you. We met at the annual
You told me, or did Sally
networks.
tell me?
Sally told you. I can't. See, this is what happens when two actors make a podcast.
That's the thing.
But
But where is Sally now? She's not here today.
No, she's 9-to-5er, isn't she?
Oh,
She's not at work.
On a weekend.
She's on the weekend.
I thought she's on holiday getting drinks.
Oh,
that have
in
been
Santorini.
Yeah, getting paid for it.
No, she's not there
yet. And they're
yet.
technically free.
They are technically
according to her logic.
Yeah, they are technically free.
Guys, if you've not seen the ep, you'll have no idea what we're talking about. But
she's not on holiday yet. She's not on holiday yet.
Oh, okay.
That's coming up.
Yeah. She's about then.
Yeah, she's about. She's probably gone B&M's today.
B&M.
B&M.
Love a B&M.
I love a B&M too.
Mm.
Yeah, no, she's probably gone B&M's to get some more cat food.
For Dinky and Mitzi.
For Ditsy and Mitzi. Dinky and
We'll leave that.
there. Right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thanks so much. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Not the 9 to 5 podcast. If you liked this episode, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel, where we release weekly podcasts every Monday. Comment below to let us know who you'd like to see next on our podcast. Give this video a thumbs up and maybe share it with a freelance friend or two. Until next week, everyone, keep freelancing.